Cause I'm a boss. Watch the watch the
So Holly, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. For you guys watching, Holly is someone that I actually met through Vanessa James on at that, what was the dinner called? Those amazing events.
Women of Impact.
Yeah, Women of
Amazing.
Impact dinner. And Vanessa hosts these amazing events where she basically just shines a light on different kinds of people. And I'm forever grateful for her for putting us together. Because I fell in love with you the moment like you said something. I was like, you said like one sentence, and I was like, oh God, she's like, I need her in my life. I need to be her friend. So some background on Holly, you guys. She's a woman in tech, which is a man's world. And she was a global head of marketing for Dell and has since, after doing amazing things over there, now she is an entrepreneur doing her own thing and helping businesses as a strategist. So can you talk to me more about your new business?
Sure. So a little bit of background on the Dell side. Dell's an amazing company. I'm forever grateful, and backing up, forever grateful to Vanessa James. She's a magnet for amazing people. Look at how she brought us together. I fell in love with you. Your energy, when Janet walks in the room, and if you know Janet and met her in person, you can even feel the good energy vibrating right now through the
jazz
computer.
hand my way.
Yes, jazz hands in. It was just amazing, and I am forever grateful to Vanessa, to you. Thank you for letting me be here with all of these amazing souls. So hello out there to all of you. Thank you for having me. And yeah, so a decade and a half career in bleeding edge tech with Dell Technologies. Amazing. My very last role was in our global channel marketing organization, multi-billion-dollar org, and I was leading the Women's Partner Network, as well as working on our moonshot goals for social impact. Really, how do we make sure that we are enabling our corporate social responsibility, our diversity and inclusion as business enablers to help our B2Bs grow and scale. So I took all of this knowledge and I said, there was a calling on my life and I love people. And I went and I got certified as a life coach, then a business coach. And I was working volunteer pro bono to our women community, to our women entrepreneurs, and saying, hey, how can I help you scale your business? What can I do with business ideas over, the last 7 years? And the calling got so great during COVID, I could only focus on Dell because, you're working from home, you're trying to survive I'm a mom, being a teacher and hold the house down. And so the hours that I used to be able to volunteer at night or on the weekends, I couldn't because we were just going through this, just trying to stay focused. And Dell had a stellar year. But in November, I realized, I wasn't getting to do and support my amazing community. So I left to actually scale Success Quarterback, which is my business consultancy. So working to help our amazing women and diverse business owners to scale their business through profitability initiatives and business strategy, because so often, our business owners don't think about what is that strategy that we need to pivot or take it to the next level around business development, marketing, and scaling with cash flow efforts. So those are the areas that I have been working on. So thank you.
Well, for me, you've always been so open and willing to share your knowledge. And whenever, those of you who ever want to open up a business, or you're opening up a business right now, or you're in that entrepreneurship role, most of the time it's something that's like, okay, I love doing this and I'm passionate about it and I want to share with other people, but you kind of just go doing it like a passion project and something that you're very good at, like in my case, choreography and dance and creating. I'm very good at that. But when your business get successful, you get thrown into different levels of shit that you're not prepared for, and you're expected to know all of it, and you have to know all of it for your safety in navigating those grounds and for your ability to grow and take it to the next level. So I tell people all the time, I'm like, I feel like entrepreneurship, the only way I could describe it is like a video game. You know how like when you make it to the next level, it's just the bad guys are just more powerful and there's a lot more obstacles. It doesn't get easier. It's an uphill battle the entire time. So you really have to be extremely passionate, and you really have to, at least for me, do it because it's there's a purpose greater than you in it. Right. And to have someone like you exist that can kind of shed light in all of these uncharted territory for people like me or other entrepreneurs, it's like, oh my God, like finding like a white unicorn.
Wow, it's so true. And I think it's different seasons. So as you started to scale, you're starting to see new challenges that you need to navigate through. So it's a whole nother, playbook that you're going to need as you open up and you're scaling. And I think that's the fun in it. And thank you for that. I love unicorns. I don't think I'll ever get too old. I have a 7-year-old daughter. She loves unicorns. So you're a unicorn too. So,
thank you.
I
have a question.
But no, the challenges they're always going to be there. But I love how you tackle them. You're badass.
I mean, I try. I tackle them. I think the best advice I could give is I'm very aware that I do not know it all. And I'm very aware of what I'm great at. I'm very aware of where I need help in. And I'm aware that I do not know like I'm very aware that every level means I don't know anything. The more successful I get, it's just more things to learn. So having that ability to be obsessed with learning helps me a lot, because I never enter anything without doing thorough research, reaching out to people knowledgeable in it to like discuss things, and then forming an informed opinion that helps you navigate where to go. But I think some entrepreneurs kind of go into it and they're like, you can't let your ego kind of get in your way. You always have to be aware that it's like, okay, this is a new level. I haven't met the monsters on this level yet. Let me get the right people on my team to help me navigate these challenges that I have no idea. And you are that person.
That's right. Stick to your core. That's right. Stick to your core, come back to center on what your gifts and talents are as you lead that, and then hire a super smart tribe around you and keep it tight.
Keep it tight. That's right. Sorry. Okay. So how did you get to tech? How did you get into this world? Share like how you started. Did you always know that this is what you wanted to do in high school or in college, or share that part of your life with us?
No, I did not. I did not know that I was going to get into high tech. And it was by chance that I was actually recruited to an amazing gaming company called Alienware. I don't know if you've ever heard of the brand, High Performance Gaming PCs. And I was actually working as a marketing manager at a liquid coffee company, which I was, marketing to some of the biggest brands that then, they take our coffee and then they sell it to the world, which, many people enjoy today. And Alienware recruited me, and I had no idea. I walked in, thank goodness that I knew a little bit about PC gaming, but not a lot. It wasn't something that, I was all about. But what I did know was I knew people, and I loved marketing. I loved sales and business development, and the rest is history. So from there, Alienware was purchased by Dell in 2006. And always knowing my core, I love challenges. So being brought in, success quarterback, the quarterback to come in and help tackle the challenges has always been something at the core. So trying new things from biz dev to sales, retail, strategic alliances, global channels, keeping people as the core has always been a core theme throughout my career. But no, tech, I love tech. I absolutely think that we need to look at it not as something scary, that it's something that is enabling our lives for us to be more efficient, more productive. And we utilize that technology. We hold the power. Let's go in remembering that with anything that is technology. Now in this new season in my life, I'm focusing on people, their bodies, their minds as the technology. How can I help that CEO up level to the next level? They are the technology that is going to create the next Dell technologies to enable the world.
Absolutely. Question.
Yeah.
Before I get to the question I was about to ask, what did you study in college?
Yeah. So I thought I wanted to be a lawyer because my grandfather was. I did pre-law. I studied business management with a minor in marketing and a minor in e-commerce. I did not become a lawyer, and I went straight into the business world.
Okay. But your ability to scale and to market and just having like that intuition of just knowing what to do to reach the masses, that's did you learn that? Did you have a mentor, or that's just like you have that in you?
I think, like you, it's always doing that research. Never slow down on that learning and staying curious and asking questions. It's just something that I am constantly, I honestly believe when it comes to that, seeing businesses thrive and seeing people thrive, it's like I will walk into, and this is a random one, literally my nail salon. And I'm like, how can I help this nail salon? It's woman owned, what can I do? What can I tell her? And it's always thinking in the back of my mind, wherever I go, like, how can I help this business? What little nugget can I leave behind?
No, that's you guys,
yeah.
That's totally her energy. Like she walks in and is like, if you're like, hey, I have this idea, she just like is so generous. Like you're so generous with your knowledge. And most people aren't like that. And you're like, genuinely want to help people, women especially. And it's like you're totally the type of person that's like, if you have that connect or you have information that would be of value to me, like you share it openly. And you're so willing to just be there. Any single time that I've ever needed help navigating a situation, I always text you, you respond right away, and you're like, hey, let's jump on a call. And it's like having like just a really, really, really smart friend on your corner, You're so great. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
I'm gonna then go back to the question I was gonna ask. You were, when I look at your photos and videos of you in action in the boardroom doing your presentations, I would say most of them, if not all, you're the only woman in the room. Was that most of your career?
That was most of my career. And until my very last role at Dell, did I have a woman leader, which was incredible because it went all the way up. So I always had a male leader that then rolled into a male that rolled into a male. And now I see this great shift, this rise of the feminine now, where the last role was I rolled into a woman that rolled into a woman that rolled into the CMO. So it was pretty cool. And she's a woman at Dell as well. So it's a great shift. But yeah, most of, if not all, was, being one of the only women, if not the only woman on the team.
What advice would you give to a woman who wants to get to that C-level position and finds herself in the same situation where it's just a room full of men? Not that there's anything bad of that, but it's just, there's a different kind of struggle. You feel like you have to prove yourself more. There's different kind of things that if you were a man, you don't have to deal with. So what advice would you give those people?
I wanted to be transparent in my questionnaire that I filled out for you, and to give you guys a little bit of background, that it was a learning for me, because I thought early in my career, and I just had to outwork the men. I was like, I need to work longer hours. I need to work on the weekends, whatever it takes to outwork them. And now the advice that I would love to give here on this call is to own your gifts and power. Be very self-aware with what are your gifts and talents, what are you truly unique at doing, and you're passionate about doing. Remember, keep that core. If I always do a power of 3, keep 3 things in your head. Here's what I know that I'm great at. Here are the gifts that I'm bringing into this room, that I know that is inherently a part of me, my own unique IP address, like your fingerprint, that's unique to me, Janet Jones, Holly Delgado, that guy over there does not have. Walk in and own that, but then also look for a connection to say, I'm the only woman in the room. That's my power, my gifts that I'm bringing, but I want my male allies. That's a really important thing. If we're ever going to have this balance and get rid of this bias, we need our women allies and we need our male allies.
Absolutely.
The other thing that I want to, and I'm sure you've heard it too, is we really need to be for each other. And when I say that to the core of my being. Women need to be for each other and be so mindful and careful of how we are talking about our women colleagues, our counterparts, women that we interact with, whether we like them or vibe with them or not. We have to be so careful about how we are managing how we are for other women and be fiercely for them. Because I have seen so many times when in the journey where I didn't have an issue with, a man so much blocking me as I had other women putting other women down, when we as a collective could have gotten there much faster had we been for each other.
Absolutely. And I love the point that you made about your the shift in your perspective and how you saw your situation. Because if you go into the situation and your energy is like, okay, I'm lesser than, therefore I need to work more to prove myself. So you're going into a situation already believing that you're less than. So the energy that they're going to feel from you is that you're less than. So the fact that that simple shift in perspective is just being like, I am a woman in a room full of men. That's the gift that I'm providing you guys. A completely different perspective, a completely different paradigm. It's just, I'm giving you so much value simply because I have a different way of looking at things. And when putting together a team, the most valuable thing is to get different minds. I don't want anyone that thinks exactly like me. I don't want anyone that agrees with everything I say. Actually, that's a pet peeve of mine. I want people to challenge me.
Yes.
And but challenge me with in an informed way and have like their own perspective, where even if I don't agree with you, I could be like, I never saw it like that. Thank you. But those different viewpoints are of the most value, I believe. So just that different energy shift of like, okay, I'm sure like you were able to become more successful once you made that change, right?
Absolutely. It was day and night, going from one, award to another once I got aligned with me. That's so important. I think that's such a theme. Like, get aligned with yourself. Come in.
What does that mean? What does that mean to you? What does that mean? Give it to me, Holly.
I have goosebumps. Yeah.
What does getting aligned mean to you? Like, what is it? Tell us, help us.
So that's knowing your worth and your value. That's bringing all the power back to yourself. And so often we go so external we go so external to find the answers before we come to ourselves. So, we're going on Instagram, we're going on TikTok, we're going out to our friends, calling this one, calling that one. Come into yourself, first of all. Come into yourself, know your worth, know your value. Again, come in with your core gifts and passions and align. Call your power back to yourself. Somewhere along the line in whatever, we started giving our power out like this. No. We are able to serve others at a much higher capacity when we call all the power back in to ourselves, come into center, and we walk into the room like you did that night at Women of Impact. Just boom, I am here. I'm here to love and serve, but I know who I am.
Oh, I love that. Love, 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 love. In your journey, did you have any mentors?
I did. And I think, again, you hear my core themes. For everything, there's a season. And I always, saw others as mentors and said, okay, you need a mentor in every aspect. Somebody that you look up to that will challenge you and also will pour into you and sharpen you as well. And I think there are different types of mentors, and you hear that a lot. Those people who are just, the confidant that, you're just bouncing ideas off. Those that you see a role out there that you want to aspire to be like. Those that will sharpen you and that are not afraid to tell you like it is, to tell you there's spinach in your teeth and you're going down the wrong direction. I think we have to look for all those varying viewpoints, that we put in our toolbox of life as we go along. And, don't be afraid when you feel the shift in yourself to say, okay, this is not vibrating or, good for me anymore. Mm-hmm. It's time to keep moving. Say thank you for that moment and keep moving as you grow and change as well.
I love that. And that has to do not only with mentors, but who you have surrounding you. We were talking about this I was talking about this with Vanessa too, about the importance of the people that you surround yourself with, especially when you are doing that leap from corporate America to entrepreneurship. Like that, the decision to jump is the scariest decision that you will ever make. And if you don't have people around you who have either done it or on the same thing or want to do it, one person telling you, Holly, do you think that's a good idea? You're so good at that. Like, you have a paycheck coming, like to just leave all that for uncertainty. Just that one person creating that doubt will put you back in to that. Oh, they're right. I shouldn't leave my, so you need to get those people out of there.
That is some truth bombs right there. That's right. And there's this great I don't know who coined it. There's this great course that talks about the people in your life who you're surrounding yourself with, the multipliers, the dividers, the subtractors, and the adders. You want to make sure you have a ton of multipliers who are 10xing your life, pouring in from all directions,
multipliers,
or those that add to your life, right?
Yeah.
But be so careful, who in your circle, right? Your business tribe, your friend tribe, those that you're surrounding yourself with that are your subtractors and your dividers. Who is taking energy that, you can let them go and love and say, this is not vibing with me anymore.
Yes. And 2021 and beyond, no more subtractors. How do you say that? Subtractors?
Cut them out. No more. Say thank you. Bye-bye. You're going to stay in that 2020 energy.
Exactly. Multiply only. Good. I like to think of people like that as, not like that, I'm saying like mentors and the special people who come into your life in those moments and just say exactly what you need to do. And that will kind of redirect you on the right path. I call those people angels of the get through.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You need a whole little meme on Instagram. Angels of the get through. There you go.
Because I have mentors of that I know that they're my mentors as far as like they let me just shadow them day and night. And I was just able to absorb everything and learn everything. And they were very much like, you need to sweep the floor and you need to take out the garbage. Even if I was there to like learn how to be a creative director, it's just like they're like, everything you do has to be done with intent, has to be done well, because that's just part of who you are. And if you are disciplined enough to take that much care in the small things, the big things will just be, you'll be able to do big things with no effort. And that was one of the most important lessons for me as far as like the mentors. But then there's other people, like my high school teacher, who's like, I wanted to be a physical therapist when I was in high school, to help my dad out because he had the amputations. And so it was the high school teacher was like, Janet, I know you want to do that, but you should really consider dancing professionally. You have this gift. And she was the one who kind of started connecting those dots. And just that statement completely changed my whole direction in life. So even if it wasn't like she spent so much time mentoring me, just that one important statement to add something in my own mind to make me believe that, oh, okay, maybe I do have something, change the trajectory of my life. So you have people that come in, and the same thing goes for the people who hurt you and betray you. I still consider them angels of the get through. Maybe they're not the good angels. Maybe they're not the good angels, but that betrayal or that hurt allowed the right team to come in. That betrayal or that hurt allows you to maybe bring your own power back, or it's just as important to have those people as the great people to get you back on the journey to your greatness.
You said it. You said so many things in that. I call those teachers the ones who planted the seed, and then the ones who betrayed and hurt you, because you learn an important lesson that strengthened you. They're all teaching you something. You know, there's all these great interactions that then also provide great contrast. And I think that had I not gone through great adversity, I could not enjoy the great times. And, you know, had you not gone through the betrayal and, you know, the hurt, you couldn't enjoy the people that are bringing you all this goodness.
1,000%. I love that. Life is all about the contrast.
The contrast.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. One of my favorite things, and I say this in class all the time, is like the arrow. Like when you, the arrow, if you want it to go far, you have to pull it all the way back. So it can go to, exactly. Yeah. If you go like that, it's gonna go. So it's the same theory with keeping it safe, right? It's like, you need to know that the decision you make, the moment you make the decision to do that jump, to leap to the unknown as an entrepreneur, you are also signing a contract that you're gonna go through some shit. It's like you can't get there without going through the shit. Wouldn't you agree?
1,000%. There's always going to be something, and there's going to be a pothole in the road. You're going to get a flat tire, whatever it is, it's going to come at you. You just got to be ready.
Yeah, it's part of the journey.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so an entrepreneur, let's say, someone who's starting their own business, and what are the main, like someone like me who has a skill. So whether it's an art form like dance, or whether it's that you're a photographer, or you want to start your own marketing company, or whatever business it is that you want to do, there's a whole other back end part of it having to do with strategy, with marketing, with sales. What would you say are the most important skill sets that an entrepreneur needs to kind of empower themselves with or learn about? Although they don't do it themselves, but you need to know how to like read financial statements and you need to know the finances.
I think that is a really good one, is to know the finances, or making sure that your circle is very tight to the people that you ask questions to, because you always want to hire or consult with people who have knowledge of that. So first things first, you know, you have this great gift that you want to share. to the world and you want to bring it to the world. So that's the first thing. Be very, very purposeful in your intent. What is it that you want to do? What is that gift and service that you want to bring to the world to make it a better place? What is that? First thing. The other thing is get very clear on what are your goals and objectives in 1 year, and I would say about 3 years. What is it that you want to accomplish by then? Write those out, set those out. Financially, personally, professionally, your tribe, what is it that you hope to accomplish? The other thing is, in order to serve, you have to scale, and that means you have to bring in money and be profitable. So you have to know the very basics of, what is this piece or unit? Say you're selling cards, you're selling, a card or whatever. What is that price that you're willing to put on it? Do that research, and then know what you need to do in order to keep the lights on. So often we go off on, I'm just sharing and growing and going, and we forget that I have to pay the bills. What are the basic, even if it's a spreadsheet that you start with, what are these expenses that I am incurring? Mm-hmm. And also put a value on your time, meaning every single hour. What is an hour of your time worth, Janet? What is that hour of your time? Think about that value, because going out and finding business deals and partnerships, what is an hour worth of your time, so that you could do value trades? You can look at opportunity cost. Mm-hmm. What does an hour worth of your time look like? Can you put a dollar amount on that?
Mm-hmm. When you're in the beginning and you are so desperate for cash that you just say mm-hmm. yes to everything, and you tend to just have this mindset of just surviving, right? Mm-hmm. Now that I'm where I am today, knowing what I know today, I would recommend for someone starting out to almost understand that if you jump and really just jump with intent, and you have no other choice than to make it work, it's gonna work, right? So it's not to be so scared, and have a strategy for the beginning. But before having that strategy, like, how does one make a strategy? You have to know, like, the numbers. You have to know where you want to get. So what is strategy for someone who doesn't even know what that is?
A strategy is a plan or a playbook. Just like you have choreography, where you're planning out each step in order to make a beautiful dance and be fit. For a business owner, you have to have those step-by-steps, from your finance to your day-to-day, to what is it that you want to accomplish. A strategy is, what is it that you want to accomplish after a certain time period? What are your objectives? And you always have to think about, how are you going to make money off of that, so that you can continue to serve that gift?
And that's the difficult
like you said,
part.
You're always going to be successful. If you're going out there to survive, and hold that in your heart, you're always going to be successful. But slow down to the point where you can have that first. Like, you just want to jump, sit down with yourself, and be very intentional. What is it that I am trying to accomplish over, even start with 1 year. In 1 year, where do you want to be? And how much money do you need to make? Mm-hmm.
And then work backwards and be like, okay, that means that by next
month, reverse engineer that right back. Yeah. And that strategy, day by day, I take it, day by day, 3 months, 6 months, and then do pulse checks, every month. Come check your pulse. How are you doing?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Yes. And how do you check your pulse? With a KPI?
Yeah. So KPI, key performance indicator, or the simple goals, going back to your strategy. What were those goals that I said I wanted to accomplish in 1 year, 9 months, 6 months, 3 months, 30 days, what were they? Did I accomplish them? Why or why not? Check yourself, check your finances, stay focused. Why did I go this way when I wanted to go this way? So that then you can keep course correcting, because you know that you might start out one way and there's a whole nother set of gifts that you might find that you have, and your business goes in a completely different direction that might be so amazing.
Yes, especially if you're just like, I just want to open up a business to make money for myself and my family. My mom was an entrepreneur and my parents were entrepreneurs. And so my summers I spent working at her businesses. So I always understood business, and I understood the whole, that's why when I started out as a dancer, when I moved to LA, I was so excited to be there. And then when I went to go see, to go visit people who I thought were like the celebrity like the dancers, they were like in a 1-bedroom apartment with 4 other people. And I was like, I want to dance, but I don't want to live like that. So I need to figure out how to make money doing what I love. Right. So then that was always like, okay, I understand business. I have connections because of my mentorships, because I had mentored with the biggest people in the industry. So that puts you in a position where you meet a lot of people that you would never have had the opportunity to meet. And so I use those connections to be able to make money doing what I love. And how I did that was, I'm like, okay, I want to bring tours and businesses to Miami. I know all the dancers. If you hire me as your one person, I can this much money, and then I get a percentage off of that. Like, I always kind of knew understood that. So when I started Vixen, it was this is what I love, but also how much money do I need to make to pay the bills? And then how do I get the most people? I saw the women who would come, not 3 or 5 times, the ones who would come every single day, the ones that became obsessed with it. They were all from a certain demographic that wouldn't pay $30 for a class. Because I was that girl at that time. I mean, I didn't have 20 cents to put gas. When I started Vixen, I was like broke as hell. For me back then, how much I charged was a big deal. Everyone advised me against charging so little, but the way I saw it was like, the more people who have access to it, like I always understood, like I guess my strategy was in the volume, right? Instead of having the strategy of like, oh no, I want to be this boutique high-end kind of class, but that would limit my reach. I always understood that my power came in my reach. So that's a certain kind of strategy, even without me really knowing that it was strategy. Does that make sense?
It's 100% a fantastic strategy, because you went crawl, walk, run, and you knew that you needed to build a strong brand. So you made it accessible so that you could get a community of people in. And as you were able to get and grow that community in numbers and strength, then you were able to scale the amount that you were able to charge. So that was very smart. You're very purposeful in thinking, well, how many people can I reach with this if I was to lower the price? So that was really great. And now look at the brand.
And then the other
all over the world.
I need your help. Okay. So the other strategy was, I didn't have money for marketing. I've never had, like, there was no investment. It was just like whatever money came in from classes, I was able to use to either bring in more people or expand. So marketing is expensive. Until this year, we had never paid any money for marketing or ads. So in the beginning, it was, my marketing was in the things that I could control that cost no money. We leveraged social media big time. And then it was more of like 100% the experience had to be out of this world, because I understood that I could leverage my own clients to be my salespeople. because I'm
That's
like,
right.
I can't afford salespeople. I can't afford marketing. I can't afford ads. What the hell are you going to do? So for someone in my position or starting out, what would be your strategy for someone who's starting out, who has no cash really, who's just bootstrapping the whole thing? What's a marketing strategy for them?
Oh, you already just laid it down. It is leveraging social all day long and thinking about all of your connections that you have today that you can literally go down the Rolodex to turn them into champions, and think about that very purposefully. So you have your Instagram, you have Facebook, you have your TikTok, you have YouTube. Diversify that. Make sure that you have a brand presence and be thinking about that. I know that we've been talking about you on Instagram, and be thinking about having the different faces of whoever your business is, meaning the people that you serve, those people on your feed. Who is it that you want to be connecting to? And I know everybody is a social media guru in this day and age because we're always hyper connected, but leverage social and treat your brand and your business as that personal entity. So as you have you and you have your business, and be thinking about how is your business connecting to the people you want to serve? How are you following them and liking and thinking about the people that you want to serve? You were very purposeful in thinking about, everybody that was coming in the studio, giving them that experience so that then they turned into the grassroots champion. And you don't have to spend $1 million in marketing when you leverage social. You think about your day-to-day interaction. How are they working and becoming your champions? What are you doing to empower their lives? And also think about value. This is the thing. When you come in, don't always be thinking about, well, what am I going to get from them? What are you going to give to them today? Because it's going to come back around. What can you lay down so that it's going to come back in fruit? And your business is a really phenomenal example of that.
I would say that never, ever, ever have I thought in the way of when someone comes in, what I could take from them. And in the past, I've had consultants kind of recommend to do it the other way, as in because it is obviously, as genuine as you are to service, you do have to worry about the bottom line. Absolutely. But
absolutely,
I've always had a problem with that mentality of seeing a person who comes into your business as just how you could get money from them. Those are people. Those are people with emotional experiences. And I feel like for someone to get up and drive somewhere or invest in a brand, it's an emotional connection that they have with the brand. And if I go to any store and I'm made to feel like they're just seeing me for whatever dollars they can get from me, I might go once or twice but never come back. And so I feel like being that way and really genuinely caring about the human experience of our customers, and adding that value, like you had said, is what has kept us with clients for the last 8 years who have still come every single day, even if they started when we first started. They just want us to succeed because of the way that we made them feel.
That's right.
So
now more than ever in 2021, through the shift.
Yes.
What is that experience that you are pouring into them? How do they feel when they leave? That's a goosebump moment. How are you making your customers feel at the end of whatever it is, the service that you provide, the units that you're selling to them?
1,000%. And also, going back to your comment about that, yes, you have to leverage social media. You have to be very, very well versed in everything branding and social media. However, doesn't matter how good you are at social media. If a customer comes to you and your service sucks, they're never going to come back. And the same thing goes with the marketing dollars. You could have millions to spend on marketing, but if the real ain't real, not going to be enough money in the world that could support that. You have to like keep the main
Authenticity.
thing the main thing and add value in every way that you possibly can.
And when you're true to yourself with that, again, check yourself. What is the true authentic service that you are providing, or the gift that you're bringing? What is that authentic thing? Stay very true to that, because people can see fake, like you said. If it ain't real, it ain't real.
No,
They can spot
know
it. And if you're not taking care of them, they're not coming back. They're not coming back.
Holly, a question.
Yeah.
You are a wife and a mother who has had very high level positions. Talk to me about that struggle, girl. I know.
It is a struggle. So my husband works in healthcare. So he's an IT director at a hospital. So during the worst part of the pandemic, he was always gone, because he had to make sure that his hospital was safe as well. So he was, always gone. And I was working high demand with, our tech company, but then also working to be a teacher, which I have mad respect for our teachers out there. Just thank God for them, and hold the house down and, keep that going, which there's so many women out there, moms that are, whether they're married or single moms out there. I salute you and applaud you, because you also were on the front lines with our frontline workers, because you were holding down our future. So thank you to all the moms out there. So I got a mad respect for the moms out there, or the aunties, and all the caregivers. But it brought me back to being more grounded, because I was working myself to death, and I had to come to a point where there was a check, where there was just a point where, like, this is not working this way, and I have to reprioritize the way I do things. So it is making sure that my family is safe and holding down a job, but working different hours. And I don't know if many women out there attested that they work different hours to get their job done, just to try to keep things going. And everyone found a different path, but I think a lot of people found themselves. When I say that, it's really coming home to themselves in order to be a better wife and a better mom, and to say, this is what I can tolerate, and this is what I can no longer do or allow.
I'm going to add to that, as far as like coming to terms with how you could be a better wife and a better mom, but a better wife in the sense, and a better mom, different than what society tells us to be. What I mean by that is like, not a better wife is like, how can I make sure like my husband has his dinner served by the time he gets home? No, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, how can I be whole? Right? How can I be aligned so that I can be there for my husband and be a good wife, and I can be there for my children? But the way life is set up, without children and without a husband, it's tough, especially as a woman who, like, for example, you're like, I gotta outwork these men who are already working really hard, right? Add a husband and children that it's all consuming. It's a different kind of juggle. And it's a juggle that is unique to women.
And there's a lot of eyes that have been opened where ourselves, we come home to ourselves, that alignment, and say, I love myself first, fiercely. This is what I need to do first, to take care of me first, to be good, to go out and give, or like you said, whatever that is, it has to be the love for you first in order to serve or do anything.
It's easier said than done. And
it is, it's hard.
It's a struggle. Yeah,
in it.
I can attest that this is literally what I built my business on the whole self-care, and you come first, but in theory and in practice is different. And in practice, in a pandemic where mothers were supposed to, like, I'm pretty techie. Like, I've always built all the websites for Vixen. I've always, like, the whole our virtual studio, like, I built it. I'm pretty techie. And you are like a megastar in tech. How hard was that transition to the virtual school? That was hard for me.
It was so hard on them. It was hard.
It was hard for me to set it up.
Sweat hard, trying to keep it all going.
How are other moms who don't have my experience doing this? Because I couldn't figure it out. So imagine them, and imagine those poor teachers. Did you have like a hard time setting up the whole virtual school? Or you were probably like, really?
No, where the struggle came in was when tech didn't work. So when track goes down and Zoom goes down and crashes, but then your Zoom is still up and you're in a conference call and your daughter walks in, I think it brought an entirely new level of grace to the world, where people realize, holy crap, she is a mom too. Let's cut some slack here. We had to cut some slack in ourselves, that we're not perfect. And there were tears. There were times when I literally had to hang up the phone to go, or whatever, to go and have a few tears, to go back, to go and figure out what I needed to do to get things going again. And that's okay. That is okay.
That is so okay. And I will admit that after, I mean, imagine where you're trying to keep your business afloat, your kids are home, and they have obviously the needs of just being a kid, but these new emotional needs that you have to navigate, right? And then the school, I mean, my daughter's school was great, but still kind of expecting them to perform at the same level. And then my daughter's extracurricular activities, still expecting them to perform at the same level, and expecting the parents too. Like, I remember like one thing, and one of the I don't know if you struggle with like the mom chats at your daughter's school, but one of the things was like, I don't know, like something so dumb. Like I had forgotten like a certain type of crayons that she had to bring that day. And it was like, they let me have it. And I was like, we're in a pandemic. I'm trying to keep my global business afloat and you're bitching at me about crayons. Come on. It was one of those, and so many times where I would have to hide in the closet just to have space for myself. Because at least having to go to work, you create that space. But then being home with the kids and constantly being needed, it's like there was no space.
The closet became a new place of refuge for so many. And I heard that first from so many women, that they set up an office in their closet. Whatever it took. And I think that's the story, to say whatever it took, for you to feel safe and whole, for you to just get back there and function. So if that meant that you needed to press pause on every single thing or shut down some stuff, then again, that was okay. I realized the bar that we set so high for everything, on our kids, on this, on that. We had to just wait and realize the ground was always moving. Yeah. The ground was always moving. Like, how are we staying agile enough and flexible enough in this storm that we're not going to fall over? And I had many crying in the closet moments. Going in, mom's taking a minute, coming back out. And get that out and go back and run your business, run your conference call. Yeah.
Exactly. Go in the closet, be like,
yeah. And I'm good.
And I'm back.
Well, sometimes I wasn't good. But I also learned that not to hide that from my daughter. I think I didn't have that growing up. I didn't hide that emotion. I said, hey, I'm having a really bad day.
That's amazing.
Mom is having a not so good day, and I'm going to get through this.
Was she able to understand?
But I want to be on some level. She just turned 7. So this is a new thing. She did not understand why in the beginning, why we all had to just completely lock down and stay away from everybody. We couldn't ever, during the height of it, that was something she could not understand. Well, why can't we just go see people? That was something that was very hard to get. Why do I only see them on Zoom or FaceTime? But we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Question. Do you feel that because I know for me, I was forced to slow down and pause and care for myself, but I've found that I wasn't able to do that logically. Like I wasn't able to just be like, I need to take care of myself because mom needs to come first. That's literally what I preach. But when you're stuck in the whole bustle of the day, it's almost impossible to do that. And a minute in a closet isn't going to cut it when you have so much on your shoulders, right? So for me, it took literally collapsing and the scare of like, I could have just gone into cardiac arrest right there. Like, it was like, I could have just not woken up, right? To be like, okay, no, mom needs to come first. Mom needs to take her time because I needed to survive. And without me, you guys are like, it's a different kind of perspective once that actually happens to you. And I know that you went through something similar.
I sure did. And that was actually right before the pandemic in 2019. So I was constantly going, I was traveling. I came back from a trip and I just got this really bad, severe headache. I started getting fever. The fever went up over 104. And I started to the point where I couldn't see. And so then I called my husband to come and take me to the emergency room. And after being there for a week, I had 2 spinal taps, MRI, multiple blood tests, all the cultures came back. They thought it was meningitis because I couldn't even move my head. They were like, the only thing we can think was there was stress response and you haven't been dealing with stress. And I hadn't been taking care of me. And we hear that all the time. There are books, there are billionaires off of self-care. But I think, thank God you went through it. Everybody, seriously, take this pause. This is a clap out moment. You need to take care of yourself. Listen to your body, because my body had been giving me signs.
Like what?
And I'm sure your body was too. Like your body, your mind, you're like, oh, I need to do this. I need to slow down. I might need to take a day off. No, I can't do that. No, but I can't. And you hear everybody saying, but I'm too busy. Do you hear that from everybody? I'm just too busy. I'm too busy. I'm too busy. So your body is going to shut you down if you can't. And it's a good up level because I feel like I'm 2.0. But you went through that, Janet, in order for people to really clap this out and hear this now. And they truly nourish, whatever that means to you, that word. And I think about it, taking those moments to breathe, sleep, eat, hydrate, take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul in equal parts. Those were things that I learned. So, and if not, your body's going to shut you down.
Yeah, no. The consequences are way too high. And I know that everyone has heard like, okay, stress is a killer. Stress is a killer. Stress kills. And until you're there, that you're like, because you're so used to living with stress. It's part of our everyday, right? That it's like when you're there and you're living the consequences of that stress, and it almost seems like there's no in between. As in like the signs that I didn't feel any signs. Like I don't know any different. I've been living this stressful life since I was 3. Like, I don't know what it is to not feel this way. So I didn't notice any signs other than I did, which was different before. Like I started to get compassion fatigue, and I started to feel like I cannot.
There you go.
One more
That's
thing.
a sign.
Yes.
That's a sign.
Yeah.
The little quiet signs. Those are them.
Yeah.
And
But
now if
I
you
was
think back,
in
you're
my
like, oh,
head, I
I was
thought like,
getting whispers.
yes. In
Yeah.
my head, I thought like, I don't know. I don't know what I thought would happen right before like you almost died. Like I thought it'd be like I don't know, like I would start like twitching or something, like something that would be an obvious sign that I need to go get checked out. But it wasn't like that at all. It was just, it went from,
Yeah.
okay, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. This is weird, unlike myself, but I have no choice. I can't stop. So it goes from that to like, you're in the hospital, you know, and you don't know what the hell happened. It's really scary.
It's super, super scary. And I'm just so thankful that I can relate to you that we went through that, and that you're also brave enough that you're able to tell the story, because it's in our learnings and our wounds and our scars that we are helping lift up others and connect with them. And if there's even one person that I can connect by telling them and being vulnerable by saying, hey, this is what happened, and I'm not a perfect person.
1,000%.
But here's what we come to help each other.
Yeah.
And let's go.
And that's why we decided, like, that's why I'm so grateful that you took the time to do this, just because I'm like, there's so many things, like, to get where, especially as a woman, for a woman to get to a position of leadership and power, the road is tough. It's tough. So
it is no joke. There's sometimes there is no road. So let's just take a moment to thank women for, chopping the bush down to pave the road for us to walk. Like, think about it. There was no road, Janet, when you started doing what you did for Vixen. Yeah. So let's just go there.
And what's crazy, like when you're there, no, but when you're like when you see like the, how being a CEO or girl boss is so glamorized.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, oh, you're so
cute.
I'm like, you're so cute. That's your heart. Wait. Just wait.
Yes, and
it's not glamorous.
The glitter t-shirt that they have to give you, that you're a girl boss, hashtag girl boss, girl power.
So it's
yes.
tough.
The power part, yes. Yes.
But because
and it is tough.
It is tough, and you go through a lot of shit to get there. It's uphill the entire way for sure. So I think we have a question. Oh, preach on, Liz. Hi, Liz. Okay.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Liz. So, Holly. One note I have to say about the whole, what you were talking about, keeping yourself aligned and making the time. As an entrepreneur, though, I don't know if this is something that you struggle with too. For me, it's always been like, okay, I'm going to go, like you said, that everything happens in seasons. For me, it's always, okay, I'm going to push full throttle now, because once I reach this goal, I can relax. But that never happens. As in, like, not that I don't reach the goals, I reach them all. But then there's never a moment to relax, because then once you level up, there's just more things and more opportunities and more monsters and more. So you need to build in the space for your care. Just as important as whatever meeting or Zoom that you have during the week, you need to schedule your space for your care. Otherwise, you're never going to find the opportunity to do so. And then you're going to kill yourself for 10 years and collapse over a text message. No one wants that.
No one wants that. That is literally the new hack. That is literally the new hack for all CEOs and founders, whether you're a woman or not, that you literally, in your playbook, in your day-to-day, your choreography, you have to build in the steps for wellness. What are those things that you are going to do in your day for mind, body, and soul that you're going to be well in? And those are your non-compromisables. Do not compromise on that. Do not say, sorry, that does not work. And if you think of all of the most successful people, they have a component of wellness, or they talk about where they came from in their journey, that they broke the hell down. And then they figured out, oh, I need to make sure that I am taking care of this technology so I can go out there and be a badass.
1,000%.
That's non-compromisable. That's non-compromise. It used to be fluffy. Oh, I'm going to go to the gym. This is so great. No. Check yourself. Stop right now. Go put on a Vixen workout. Do whatever you need to do. But that is your time for your care. Like literally make that priority. That needs to be in your schedule or you're already losing.
Mm-hmm.
You're already losing.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Non-compromisable.
Holly.
Non-compromisable. That's a non-compromisable.
Holly, so now that you're on this new journey, what do you want? What are your, in the next 5 years, 5 years from now, where will you be? What do you want to accomplish?
So I think where I am right now in this season and more of where than I want to be, it comes back to a feeling. And I believe that this is the seed for all success. It comes back to what do I want to feel? So in 5 years, I want to feel powerful. I want to feel that I am loved and that I love in this unconditional space. I want to be in a state of gratitude. And please understand that this is not fluffy. When you think about what you want to feel, you're able to accomplish it. How does this success, whatever you want, selling $1 million, how does that feel on you? What does that feel like? I want to feel more joy. That's what I want to do in 5 years. I want to feel that even if I've touched one life, that is time well spent. And I'm very purposeful in that. How was I able to connect with somebody and leave them a little bit better than I found them in that day? And I know the money, the success, the whatever, that will come next. But in this season that I'm in, it's what do I want to feel?
That's so important. I love, love, love that you said that because I absolutely agree in the sense where if in 5 years you're like, okay, in 5 years, I want to have a Ferrari and I want $1 million in the bank. I'm not saying that you're not going to get there. You probably can, but when you arrive, you're going to I feel like when you make those markers for success, what you actually mean is that you're actually thinking about the emotional component of attaining those things. So in your head, having $1 million will make you feel joy, will make you feel gratitude, and the Ferrari will make you feel powerful. But if you are not emotionally competent, you'll arrive and be like, why don't I feel the things that I thought I was gonna feel? Like I'm still empty on the inside. You know what? I need $5 million and I need 4 Ferraris. And it's this insatiable need for more because your markers for success need to be tied to how you want to feel. Right?
Yeah.
That
is level one. That is the foundation for everything else that you build. What do you want to feel in that? And then the success starts pouring in because you're okay with you at the end of the day. There could be a storm going on outside, but you still feel okay. You feel joy.
And when the number one thing, not that I'm a business strategist, but the number one thing that I could say is like, when building any business is, how do you want to make people feel? Start from there.
That's right. What is it that you want? Think, feel, do. Feel, think, do. Whatever you want in that order. How do you want people to feel? What do you want them to think? And what do you want them to do after they leave the service or after they've done something? Think, feel, do.
Holly, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for existing. I can't wait to continue to learn from you. And I can't wait to use my success quarterback to help me feel even more.
Janet, massive gratitude for you, for existing, for just shining a light for us. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone. Just go continue to be great. Stand in your power. I've got your back, so call me if you need anything.
I know, girl. What's your website so that others? Oh,
It is successquarterback.com. Look me up. Go through Janet, hit us. We want to hear from you. Let's do this again. This is too much fun. Let's have tea or coffee and do this again.
All right. Love you long time. We'll talk soon, Holly.
Love you too.